From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Good morning and thanks for starting your day with us. Today is Saturday, January 10th. I'm Max Darrow. Here's a look at what we've got at the top of the rundown. Protests against recent ICE and Border Patrol actions in the United States continue today around the Bay Area. In San Francisco last night, demonstrators blocked streets downtown. They called for justice after this week's shootings in Minneapolis and Portland, Oregon. Bay Area organizers say today's rallies will honor the victims and demand an end to what they call violent immigration enforcement actions. A major water main break in Walnut Creek continues to block lanes this morning on Ignacio Valley Road. A 70-year-old pipe burst on Thursday near Homestead Avenue, cutting water to a nearby building. Crews had to dig 9 feet down and remove a traffic light to gain access to that damaged section. East Bay Mud expects to have repairs finished later today, but drivers will have to take detours until then. The Warriors are on a bit of a roll, winning 8 of their last 11 games, 3 straight at home. Last night, they defeated the Sacramento Kings at Chase Center 137-103. Steph Curry had 27 points and 10 assists. Jimmy Butler added 15 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds. Golden State hosts the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow night. First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz joins us live now on this chilly Saturday morning. When I stepped outside today, Zoe, I was so glad I said it was a turtleneck kind of morning. It is definitely a turtleneck kind of morning. And the reason that we still have those cold weather alerts, extreme cold warnings in effect, because temperatures inland mid to lower 30s. We're kind of lucky here in San Francisco that we're in the 40s. Sure. It's still chilly, though. I still consider it turtleneck weather. 100% long sleeves. Stay in bed an extra couple minutes if you want to. I don't blame you out there. There is a little bit of fog that you can kind of see across our North Bay communities. This is on top of Sutro Tower, looking over the Golden Gate. It's clear and it's beautiful in San Francisco, but again, a little bit of cloud coverage up to our north, and that's actually keeping those temperatures across parts of our North Bay slightly warmer this morning compared to yesterday. Temperatures are still chilly, though, all across the Bay Area, so if you're heading out, you gotta bundle up. Those temperatures are sitting in the, like I said, 30s across our inland communities and down to Santa Cruz, San Jose 35, 33 in Livermore, mid 30s all across those inland communities. Like I said, San Francisco in the 40s, we're relatively lucky, but it's places like Point Reyes at 50 degrees right now because of the cloud coverage. You're actually a few degrees warmer than yesterday, but look at the rest of the Bay Area. Basically everyone else is at least a degree or 2 cooler besides us in San Francisco. Like I said, we're relatively lucky. San Jose, 6 degrees cooler than yesterday. Again, everybody needs to grab those turtlenecks if you have them, or just that warm jacket. By the afternoon hours, we will be warming up. But again, it's the reason that we do have the cold weather alerts in effect throughout this morning. They'll expire at 9 a.m. when temperatures will be warming up. I'll let you know exactly when warmer weather will arrive for everybody across the Bay Area, though, coming up in my full forecast. Back to you, Max. Tensions are rising after 2 incidents where ICE and Border Patrol agents shot people in Minneapolis and Portland, respectively. More than 1,000 protests are planned for today around the nation. Last night, crowds marched through downtown Minneapolis demanding that ICE leave their city after an agent shot and killed a 37-year-old woman on Wednesday. She's been identified as Renee Good. The federal immigration crackdown in Minnesota involves more than 2,000 agents right now. Protesters say this show of force targets immigrant communities and increases fear rather than safety in their city. In Portland, Oregon, a Border Patrol agent shot 2 people during a vehicle stop on Thursday. Homeland Security says the driver and passenger, both from Venezuela, tried to use their car as a weapon. Local police say the pair have ties to a violent gang but were not suspects in a crime. Protesters marched through downtown Portland demanding answers, while city and state leaders called for federal forces to pause all operations amid an ongoing investigation. In San Jose last night, people came together for a vigil on Alum Rock Avenue to honor Renee Good. Many of those who showed up told us they're feeling a lot of emotions right now. Deep sorrow for the mom of 3, and also anger towards ICE and the Trump administration.
They lost someone that was just trying to look out for her community. And now this completely unaccountable group of masked thugs is going around terrorizing our migrant neighbors, terrorizing our immigrant neighbors, terrorizing people.
Federal officials say the agent who opened fire in Minneapolis was acting in self-defense. More protests are planned today across the Bay Area. In San Francisco, demonstrators are set to rally on Van Ness Avenue and at Ocean Beach. Both events start at 12 noon. In the East Bay, people in Concord will begin a march at Todos Santos Plaza at 11:30 this morning. Organizers say they want to see accountability for the recent violent incidents. In the East Bay today, hundreds of people plan to gather to honor a coach who made an incredible impact for generations of young adults, both on and off the football field. A celebration of life for longtime coach and mentor John Beam is set to happen at the Kaiser Center for the Arts this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Coach Beam led and inspired Bay Area athletes for more than 4 decades. He was most recently Laney College's athletic director. Beam was shot and killed on campus in mid-November. A 27-year-old suspect now faces murder charges. Family, friends, and former players have said they will remember Beam not as just coach, but as a life mentor. Layoff notices have started going out across the Alameda County health system. This affects hundreds of frontline hospital workers, and some patients say this move will cost lives. The county plans to cut more than 240 jobs across all departments. They're citing federal Medicaid cuts and a projected $100 million budget deficit by 2030. But hospital workers and patients say the move feels rushed and premature. Staff say the system has not lost money just yet. Patients fear losing the care that they rely on daily.
Maybe keep me alive, man. Keep me together. I love my nurses. I don't want to lose none of it. We don't need no layoffs, man.
AHS has not lost one single dollar. The money is there. These, the jobs that are currently being affected, they are currently in budget for. So these are very premature, and it is definitely unnecessary.
Health experts warn that hospitals serving low-income communities will feel the most impact from these cuts. A state investigation is underway after Waymo robo-taxis stalled in place during that massive power outage in San Francisco last month. Driverless Waymos stalled at intersections all over the city on December 20th, leaving many human drivers frustrated and confused. On Friday, state public utility officials held a hearing to ask why these vehicles froze and what robo-taxi companies plan to do about it. Protesters outside the hearing raised safety concerns about driverless taxis. One tech expert says the driverless cars essentially didn't know how to react, so they stopped and waited for direction.
What they have done is they stopped and they started communicating back with the center. And now, because there are many of them communicating, trying to get some clarification about what the situation, there is a backlog. Or give them some kind of a hotline so they can act right away. Okay, here's the passcode. Go and move the car.
Professor Ahmed Banafa says the issue can be solved with software updates, but urges companies to team up with city emergency crews to avoid issues like this from happening in the future. It is 6:09 on this Saturday morning. Let's have a look at some events happening around the Bay this weekend. The Silicon Valley Auto Show continues today at the Santa Clara Convention Center. And whether you're into high-performance rides or just curious about the latest tech in cars, there's plenty to check out, from hybrids with 600-mile ranges to affordable electric models. Experts say this year's show is all about EVs, plus smart and safer features in every category. You can even test drive some of the cars at the show. It's open today from 10 to 8 and tomorrow from 10 to 6. Santa Cruz getting ready for some waves today for the National Scholastic Surfing Association's Northwest Conference Surf Competition. The event starts this morning at 7 and runs through Monday. In the South Bay, it is the final day of the physics show at Foothill College in Los Altos. It's an event for kids and families designed to make science fun. That starts at 10 o'clock this morning at the Smithwick Theater. San Francisco is holding a Love Our City volunteer cleanup today. Crews and neighbors will get together to tackle greening and cleaning in neighborhoods like Hayes Valley, the Tenderloin, and the Western Addition. It starts at 9 o'clock this morning at the Civic Center Secondary School Playground, if you'd like to check it out. Coming up after the break, healthcare budgets are getting slashed, but is a wealth tax on billionaires the answer? We'll break down the divisive plan that could be headed to the ballot.
It's time for them to step up and do their part.
It's incredibly risky. We're talking about putting at risk the driver of our economy.
Hey, I'm Johnny Mosley. and the mountains are calling. The Toyota, it's packed up and ready to go. But before we get out there, let's check out what the conditions are like. The Toyota Tahoe report is ready. Let's head over to the map.
Well, as you can see, lots of zeros on this map because no fresh snow is expected this weekend. But honestly, that is fantastic news for those of you driving up to the mountains because there's not going to be any of those treacherous road conditions. Very healthy base totals, though, from Sierra Tahoe to Kirkwood, Heavenly. Again, no new snow, but about 4 feet at the bases. In the higher elevations and across northern Lake Tahoe, we also aren't looking at all too much, but Mount Rose over to Diamond Peak, North Star Palisades, and Sugar Bowl, along with Boreal, all really fantastic base totals. Sugar Bowl and Boreal, they're about that 50-plus inch mark when it comes to snow at the base. Great news for those of you heading out skiing and snowboarding this weekend. I hope you all can enjoy yourself. And that was your Toyota Tahoe report.
Welcome back. Now to a plan that could be headed to the California ballot. It would tax California's billionaires to make up for big cuts in federal funding to hospitals and healthcare programs. Proponents of this idea say this is the right solution to a looming disaster. But critics say this will drive more money out of the states and will do more harm than good.
We need to do this now.
To Seema Kanani, a medical social worker for a major hospital system in Northern California, it is time to sound the alarm about the future of healthcare in California.
We are at risk in the near future, actually, of having hospitals, ERs, community clinics closed down.
For 19 years, she's been a member of the Healthcare Justice Union, the SEIU-UHW, and her union has come up with an emergency solution that it wants to put to California voters, a billionaire wealth tax.
There are over 200 billionaires just in California. And so it's time for them to step up and do their part for the state that's given them so much.
The idea, a one-time 5% tax on the wealth, not income, of billionaires that live in California. The union is proposing this to make up for massive federal healthcare spending cuts set to take place over the next decade, which will largely impact middle and lower income Californians.
A lot of my patients will choose to kind of ration their diabetes medication or other medications that they can't afford because they have to choose between paying their electricity bill or getting their medication.
A December analysis from California's nonpartisan legislative analyst's office revealed the billionaire tax would likely generate tens of billions of dollars over several years. It also notes state income tax revenues would likely decrease by hundreds of millions of dollars per year on an ongoing basis if the ultra-wealthy leave the state. The latter is what San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan is concerned will happen.
Is we will actually increasingly have to rely on middle class and working families to fill that gap. That's who will lose here. The people who will benefit are the taxpayers of Texas and Arizona and Florida, who will now have more billionaires relocating to their state and sharing in the burden of paying for their public services and their infrastructure.
Mahan thinks it would do more harm than good.
It's incredibly risky. We're talking about putting at risk the driver of our economy, the job creation engine of California, for a one-time tax to subsidize a system that is rife with waste, fraud, and abuse.
He says there are bigger picture solutions needed for addressing wealth inequality. That includes pursuing national reforms to the tax code to close loopholes.
We make it far too easy for very wealthy individuals to avoid paying taxes on their accumulated assets.
Kanani says this is about saving the healthcare system and is not meant to be the silver bullet for wealth inequality.
The life and the American dream that California is known for is not going to exist if the healthcare collapse happens. So I would welcome anyone that has other ways to tackle it to suggest so.
She's hopeful the proposition will receive enough signatures and ultimately will be put to the voters in November. The billionaire tax proposal has not yet qualified for the November ballot. According to the California Secretary of State's office, it'll need just under 875,000 signatures by June 24th in order to qualify. For the first time in more than 2 decades, California is completely drought-free. A report from the U.S. Drought Monitor shows not a single dry patch in our state, something we haven't seen since December of 2000. This follows a steady stream of storms, leaving 14 out of 17 major reservoirs at more than 70% capacity. Even in this La Nina year, storms have lined up right off the coast and dumped a lot of rain.
This water year, which started October 1, we got off to a great start. And we've seen regular storms work their way through over the months. And in the first quarter of the water year, as we rounded into the new calendar year, we're at about 150% of average on precipitation.
A cautionary note, however. Climatologists say the drier weather in the immediate forecast could turn things around in a less favorable direction. First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz joins us now. We can talk a little bit more about this. This is very significant. Ever since you've lived here in California, we've been in a drought in some capacity or another. When I came back, we were in serious drought here in the Bay Area. Huge difference.
Huge difference. And I mean, there's a lot of people whose their entire lives, they have never been living in California without drought.
Yeah.
And here we are because of all the rain that we saw for the past several days. And it swept across the entire state relatively evenly, although Southern California, they got a lot of those landslides, those mudslides because of the burn scars from the fires that they saw earlier this year. They didn't necessarily see more precipitation, but they saw more impacts than others.
Okay.
The precipitation was fantastic, though. We will be drying out over the next several days. And I just want to take a look at the drought monitor across the country and our virtual reality just to show you again how lucky we are to live in California, because most of the west coast of the United States is under some sort of drought, whether it's abnormally dry across the Pacific Northwest or under that extreme to exceptional drought over in the desert Southwest. But us, California, again, finally, for the first time in decades, looking at a quiet and clear sky when it comes to our drought monitor. We're also looking at a quiet and clear sky when it comes to our radar and it comes to our satellite. That does mean dry and clear conditions are expected to stick around. High pressure, you can actually kind of see this area of high pressure just by the rotating clouds around it. High pressure rotates clockwise. So you notice how these clouds are all rotating clockwise. That high pressure is going to keep away all of the activity for at least the next 6 to 10 days. This is our precipitation outlook. You can see that bullseye in deeper and darker red/orange. This is that letting you know likely going to be below average when it comes to that precipitation for the next 6 to 10 days. So little to no rain chances on the way, at least over the next week or so. So if you have any outdoor activities, it's kind of good news. If you want to get out and about, maybe go hiking, you haven't been able to do so since the year began, this is your weekend to enjoy yourself. Over the past 6 hours, just a little bit of cloud coverage across our North Bay. The rest of the Bay Area, not really seeing all too much of anything. And that's allowing for those very chilly conditions this morning. This afternoon, those high temperatures will be warming back up to seasonable within a degree or two of normal for this time of year all across the Bay Area, sitting in the mid to upper 50s. North Bay communities, upper 50s. Closer to the coast, you might even be in the low 60s from Point Reyes to Half Moon Bay. Places like San Jose, upper 50s, but hey, you're going to be getting warmer by the time that we step out early next week, so get ready for it. In fact, let's just take a look at where the next several days. This is Sunday afternoon. You already noticed those blue colors that indicate those cooler conditions already beginning to lessen. You'll notice a bit more widespread 60s returning to the forecast. Again, this is tomorrow afternoon, 60s, low 60s at that, but still all across the North Bay communities, maybe not for Concord. You'll still likely be at 58 degrees, but still. The bigger issue is going to be the Thule fog that's likely going to be filtering in early next week. So this is Monday afternoon. Monday is going to be even warmer across most of the Bay Area, widespread 60s, if not maybe even a low 70 degrees sprinkled in there down near Salinas. But the place that we're concerned about, or at least when it comes to the Thule fog, is places like Concord, sneaking in from those inland East Bay communities, likely going to be a few degrees cooler because of those foggier conditions. That pesky Thule fog that we saw just a couple of weeks ago is going to be returning to the Bay Area by early next week, while the rest of the Bay Area will be warm. Again, inland East Bay likely going to be dealing with a bit more of those foggy conditions. Things to keep our eyes on as we step out over the next several days. Everybody is going to be warming up through tomorrow, but by the time that we step out Monday, that's when the Thule fog is likely going to return to our inland communities. That's just that thick, dense fog from the Central Valley that spills into our inland East Bay and doesn't allow you to see all too much sunshine, keeps those temperatures a bit cooler. The rest of the Bay Area, though, going to be seeing those widespread 60s sticking around basically all next week. I hope you have the chance to get outside and enjoy yourself.
Straight ahead in sports, the Eagles are in Philly. College football title dance card is filled, and the Warriors last night had a laugher at the expense of its rivals from I-80 East. Morning, everybody. The Warriors are making themselves at home, I'd say. This is a tight, late third quarter game and then dropped a 34-point blowout of the Sacramento Kings. And hey, Hall of Fame quarterback Steve Young was at Chase Center. How good is his left-handed jumper, I wonder. Warriors led by 2 first quarter, and then the bench play got hot. Big Al Horford hit. He scored 9 off the bench. And when it was a tight game, tied at 84, bench to the rescue. DeAnthony Melton scored 12 of his 19 in the third. The bench scored 66. Golden State ripped off a 13-0 run, led by 13, headed to the fourth, where the Warriors just piled onto the scoring. Brandon Brzezinski, Curry-like with this shot. Somehow, it went in. He scored 14, 7 double figures. Curry scored 27. They dished out 39 assists. Curry's shoes were twinning with Jimmy Butler. 137-103 to final. Warriors have won 3 straight at home and won 8 of its last 11. College football, he's got a Cal degree, a Heisman Trophy. Fernando Mendoza and unbeaten Indiana are talking natty. Oregon in the way last night, but not for long. Mendoza just threw it up and his receivers went up and got it. Charlie Decker in the second quarter, 5 Mendoza touchdown passes. Top-ranked Hoosiers pulled away from a 7-7 tie, scored 35 unanswered, routed the Ducks 56-22 in the college playoff semifinal Peach Bowl. Next up, the Natty against Miami on January 19th. NFL playoffs in the 49ers. They had a final practice on Friday in Santa Clara before hopping a charter to Philadelphia. Defending Super Bowl champs await tomorrow. The Eagles are favored by 6. According to star left tackle Trent Williams, he expects to play. His hamstring lists him as questionable for Sunday's 1:30 game and is braced for the test in the trenches.
It's like just a huge collection of like 5-star recruits, like a bunch of first-round picks, all just blue chippers, and they play well. Obviously, that environment is crazy. It's hard to hear, so that adds another element to it.
Philadelphia fan base animated. George Kittle told a story earlier this week of his experiences playing at Lincoln Financial Field, and Kyle Shanahan recalled his first time going to the Link as an assistant coach, and it definitely showed how unfriendly the city of brotherly love can be.
So I do remember going there maybe the first time because my head was asleep on the bus window, and then I thought it got shot, but it was an egg hit in the window, and it actually shattered it somehow with an egg. Maybe it was hard-boiled. But yes, be ready.
Every playoff run in the Kyle Shanahan era and the Jim Harbaugh era has ended in at least the NFC Championship game. So I'm going to quote the late, great coach John Beam, who will be honored later on today. He would tell his players, show them who you are. And that's exactly what they got to do Sunday afternoon.
Well, as the Niners hit the road to Philly on Friday for this weekend's NFC wildcard matchup against the Eagles, fans showed up to Levi's Stadium to send them off. It was really a lively atmosphere all around the stadium. Many people drove in from all over the Bay to catch a glimpse of the players up close. Despite tomorrow's tough opponent, fans say they are still hopeful and believe the Niners have what it takes to advance in the postseason.
My grandparents and I, we drove all the way up here from Salinas. Traffic wasn't bad. Well, traffic was a little slow, but it's hard to move here and there. And now I can't wait to see my boys.
It's going to be a tough one, but we can definitely pull it out. Yeah, I think with all the injuries, it's definitely going to be tough, but I believe.
Love to see it. Win or lose, the faithful say they will be back at Levi's ready to welcome the team home after the game in Philly. Coming up after the break, more protests planned for today around the nation after the deadly shooting by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. This comes as a video taken by the man who opened fire offers a different angle of the incident. We'll give you a look. A federal judge rules in favor of California and several other states regarding federal funding for social services. We'll get you up to speed there as well when we come back.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. I'm Max Darrow. This is meteorologist Zoe Mintz, as you all know very well by now. Just now, we are finally getting to see the tiniest little shred of a sunrise.
The littlest bit of light, and it's making some beautiful colors on the horizon. Wow. Look at this clouds
Just
out
there. Just the last
there.
5 minutes has changed.
Exactly, and it's going to keep on changing. The colors getting more and more vibrant. So if you're still in bed right now, open up the window shades, maybe not the windows themselves because it's pretty darn chilly out there. And our sunrise is the latest today that it will be for the rest of the entire year, 7:25. After today, it's only going to get earlier and earlier. Yes. So luckily, we'll be looking at more colors in the sky during our show behind us.
Love it when we can.
And we won't be in complete darkness during the 6 to 7 o'clock hour because, you know, it's not as much fun to talk about darkness behind me. It's a lot more fun to talk about beautiful colors and when we can actually see the weather that's going on. Right now, as you can tell, our virtual reality is showing you a little bit of cloud coverage, especially across our North Bay communities, as keeping those temperatures up there a few degrees cooler or a few degrees more comfortable than the rest of the Bay Area. In fact, Point Reyes right now, we're at 50 degrees out there. The rest of the Bay Area, though, not nearly as comfortable. 30s across those inland communities from Livermore down to San Jose, including Fairfield, Concord. It's very cold. You'll need a jacket. We here in San Francisco in the mid-40s. We're lucky, but it still feels pretty darn chilly for all of us. Temperatures, again, a couple of degrees cooler than yesterday across most of the Bay Area, especially if you live down near San Jose. The fact that San Jose even is waking up in the 30s, you are going to need to grab that warm jacket. Dress in layers, though, because by the afternoon hours, it is going to be comfortable out there. In fact, you might even be warming up to the 60s, or I would say upper 50s down in San Jose. I wouldn't be surprised if a few areas did reach that 60-degree mark. And there's the potential for 70s in San Jose next week. I'll let you know exactly when coming up in my full forecast. Back to you, Max.
All righty. Thank you for that, Zoe. Protests continue today around the nation after an ICE agent shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis this week. A new cell phone video obtained by CBS News shows a different angle of this deadly incident. Let's go now to CBS's Christian Benavides.
Growing protests overnight in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and around the country over the shooting death of 37-year-old Renee Good.
In this country, we have trials, and we have judges, and we have juries, and we do not have public executions.
Federal officials say the immigration officer fired in self-defense. Now cell phone video obtained by CBS News shows the ICE agent's point of view and what are likely Good's last words.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
The agent approaches the car. Her car is blocking traffic. He circles around to the driver's side.
That's fine. U.S. citizen.
As Good's wife, who is also filming, tries to get into the car, other officers rush toward the driver's side door.
Out of the car. Get out of the...
Good seems to back up and then drives forward. That's when you hear the shots. On Friday, Mayor Jacob Frey criticized the Trump administration's decision to remove state authorities from the shooting investigation.
This is not a time to hide from the facts. This is a time to embrace them.
CBS News has confirmed the agent has worked with ICE in Minnesota for nearly a decade and was involved in another vehicle-related incident last June. Court documents show he was dragged approximately 100 yards with his arm inside a car while executing a warrant.
It looks like Kohler saying that he was shot twice by ICE and his wife was shot as well.
And just a day after Renee Good was killed, another shooting involving federal agents, this one in Portland, leading to protests there. In a statement, the Department of Homeland Security said the shooting happened during a traffic stop targeting two people they say are in the country illegally and allegedly tied to a notorious Venezuelan gang. According to DHS, the driver weaponized the vehicle and, fearing for his life, an agent fired.
A federal judge just ruled in favor of California and 4 other states, not the Trump administration, unfreezing billions of dollars in child care and social service funds. The judge halted the Trump administration's move to stop $10 billion in aid to California, New York, Minnesota, Illinois, and Colorado, at least for now. The states sued and called the freeze unconstitutional. State officials also said the government's move was harmful to low-income families. The Trump administration cited fraud as the reason, but apparently provided no evidence to back up that claim. Advocates have warned that losing this funding would disrupt child care services, job training, and support for thousands of families. Overseas in Iran, protests are quickly growing in every province. What started as a demonstration over inflation has turned into a wider uprising against the Iranian regime. The protests began in Tehran and then spread to other regions, with many calling for action against Iran's supreme leader. Human rights groups say security forces have killed as many as 40 people, including children. The government blames foreign influence and is threatening a harsher crackdown. Meanwhile, President Trump has warned the Iranian government not to inflame the situation. When we come back, we'll give you a look back at the icons who make the Bay Area a better place to live. We honor the 49 winners of CBS News Bay Area Icon Awards in 2025. Stay with us. The new year ushers in a new opportunity to showcase the amazing work of people who make the Bay Area a better place to live. We are kicking off our second year of the CBS News Bay Area Icon Awards. Here's Sharon Chin with highlights from an inspiring first year.
Oh my goodness.
From training the first service dog to beautifying a scenic jewel,
63,
to teaching at-risk kids to save and invest money, our icon winners are making a difference. A number of winners serve the unhoused. They make specialty sandwiches,
All right, I'll see you later, bro.
visit encampments, and offer hot meals.
Do you want the tofu?
They provide shelter, job training, and even throw birthday parties.
2-bedroom cottages.
Our winners innovate out-of-the-box solutions in affordable housing.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
And peer-based recovery support. One winner crafted a new law to give rehabilitated prisoners a second chance.
The time is right.
Other winners support their new beginnings with legal help and job training in bicycle repairs and beauty.
Okay.
Voluntarios.
Several icons come alongside newcomers to assist in citizenship applications and teach music and language classes that preserve their community's cultural heritage.
Cabaret space.
One winner saved a San Francisco theater. Another works to make the city a music epicenter. Using music for change, a pair of winners gives children a voice through songwriting. Another teaches free guitar lessons to keep kids out of trouble. A piano instructor opens access to music competitions, while a musician provides healing through sharing harmony. A couple of 2025 winners bring healing through free summer camps for kids with a parent with cancer.
She just needs a little lotion.
A pair of sisters gives free custom wigs for women with cancer or alopecia.
Should have been there.
Several winners turned their grief into something good. A father helped build a field honoring his slain police officer's son.
The survivors give.
Parents of a murdered council member continue his legacy of service. And a mom and dad promote ocean safety after their son drowned. 4 winners serve the autism community with a new emergency alert police registry, an annual rodeo,
There's a lot of tack in here.
and the expansion of a riding and horsemanship program. A number of winners empower girls through sports leadership programs
So nice to see you.
and scholarships. And they give away holiday toys to at-risk children. They bring the joy of surfing to kids dealing with trauma and celebrate older surfers in an annual contest.
So that's just a quick introduction to some of our 2025 winners. You can find all of their stories on our website if you want to learn more. We're excited to honor a brand new year of Icon Award winners. You can nominate a local hero for a CBS News Bay Area Icon Award. Just head to kpix.com/icon. Coming up, major repairs at the Lick Observatory. We'll take you inside the rebuilding efforts after a storm ripped off part of its dome.
We don't actually know how long it's going to take to fix.
Major repairs are underway at one of the Bay Area's best-known scientific hubs. You may remember the stormy Christmas weather ripped off a piece of the dome at the Lick Observatory. Brian Hackney got an inside look at the repair efforts and how the observatory team was able to protect the rest of the dome from ensuing downpours.
When the Bay Area woke up on a stormy Christmas morning, astronomers woke up to this. 116-mile-an-hour wind gust at Lick Observatory ripped off a 5-ton chunk of the dome.
And I was just, I was dumbfounded.
Engineers were left scrambling to pick up the 10,000-pound pieces outside, and inside, scramble to protect one of the Bay Area's scientific jewels from the unrelenting rain.
I am Eleanor Gates, and I am one of the resident astronomers here at Lick Observatory, and we are going up to take a look at the damage and the repair work.
The domes atop the observatory are supposed to look like this. The shutter doors protecting the priceless telescopes inside. But one door is now lying in the parking lot.
So this is the dome for the 36-inch refractor, and this here is the dome shutter door that was blown off the dome during the storm on Christmas morning. It really took quite a bit of damage.
So did the roof when 10,000 pounds of shutter landed on it, snapping the ceiling joists inside.
The telescope, thank goodness, did not suffer any damage. This is another place.
So it's obviously a big, unusual, and expensive repair job. As for how long it's going to take, well...
We don't actually know how long it's going to take to fix. A hard hat for you.
So how are they going to protect that telescope?
So the actual damage is at the south end of the building where the 36-inch telescope dome is.
Do you remember the first time you showed me this telescope?
Oh gosh, that was so long ago.
2007, actually, when Eleanor first showed us this historic scope.
How much does this weigh?
On the order of 14 tons.
But it is so delicately balanced.
It is delicately balanced, and so you just move it.
But it works.
It definitely works. Pinnacle of technology for the 1880s.
It's a precious piece of historic equipment.
So we're headed up to the mezzanine level so that you get a really good look at the telescope and what we've done to protect the telescope from the weather.
You put a huge tarp on it.
An enormous tarp. Unfortunately, the dome is still open to the elements. We had contractors come in that specialize in mitigating water damage, and they built this enormous tent to catch the water coming through the slit. So if it started to rain right now, we would have to rely on this tarp.
So far, it's done the job in the pouring rain.
So this is the biggest telescope on Mount Hamilton.
And the rest of the observatory complex is at least unscathed.
It could have been a whole lot worse. We have been continuing our research as normal. So that at least is the good news of this whole situation. We're hoping that within the next 4 to 6 days that we can get this closed up and protected so that we can now focus on the longer term plan of the actual repair.
The Lick Observatory is asking for help funding these repairs. If you'd like to help them out, you can donate on the Lick Observatory website. Let's talk some more weather on this Saturday morning. Meteorologist Zoe Mintz joins us live, and we are standing on opposite sides of California here for a reason. We need to show you something on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, just look at California right now. This is from yesterday because our current satellite image is dark right now. Obviously, we're waiting for the sun to rise, but look at how green the state is.
It's incredible.
Because of all of the recent rain, look at how much snow is on top of the Sierra. And then where you're standing in the desert, in Nevada, it is dry.
Now I'm in Nevada.
Yeah, I mean, but basically, yes. It's dry, it is dirty, or not dirty, but it looks like dirt on our satellite. And then compared to all the green lusciousness of California, it is so nice to see. And the first time
in 20 years.
Yep, that we're
California
not in drought.
is not in the drought.
I just wanted to show you all the satellite because of how green it is, because we're not in drought, because of how much rain we saw over the past several weeks. That rain is not coming back anytime soon, unfortunately. So I hope you enjoyed it while you could. And I want to take a tour now across the Bay Area and show you the beautiful sunrise, because you probably saw just behind me the gorgeous colors out there. This is basically that same camera view. This is on top of our studio here at KPIX. Oh my goodness, overlooking the Bay Bridge. It is gorgeous out there. Those cotton candy colors in the sky, not just overlooking the Bay Bridge, but this is overlooking our Transamerica Pyramid as well from on top of Salesforce. This is Black Mountain, also looking at some gorgeous colors. It does not matter where you are. The entire sky across the Bay Area is lit up this morning. It's Mother Nature's way of letting us know it's going to be a beautiful weekend ahead of us. Definitely different than last weekend. It's a chilly start to our morning, though. So if you live, especially across our North Bay, Inland East Bay, it's 30s talking about. So you got to bundle up. Low 30s at that in Santa Rosa and up towards Concord and Livermore. we here in San Francisco pretty lucky in the upper 40s right now. But it's cold and there's no chances for rain over the next 7 days for anybody across the Bay Area. So if you enjoy the sunshine, you're going to be loving the next couple of days. Drought monitor, they just have to show you, like what we talked about earlier, nothing to talk about. Not even a single part of California is in that abnormally dry category. And that is just so nice to see. This afternoon, our high temperatures are going to be seasonable within a degree or two of normal for this time of year, sitting in the mid to upper 50s across most of the Bay Area. This is what we expect for this time of year, although 60s down near Monterey, Salinas, Santa Cruz. Look at Sunday. You'll notice those temperatures gradually getting warmer. Those areas in deeper and darker blue no longer nearly as apparent on Sunday. And that's because the widespread 60s returning from our North Bay over to our inland East Bay and down to the South Bay. Mid to lower 60s are expected, although Concord, you'll be right on the cusp of that 60-degree mark because you'll be dealing potentially with a little bit more of that fog. Now look at Monday. Monday afternoon, it gets even warmer than that. You'll be seeing those widespread mid-60s down south and widespread low 60s across our North Bay. Inland East Bay, though, Concord, this is going to be where we're a little bit tricky to the forecast when it comes to those temperatures because you are likely going to be dealing with a bit of Tule fog. And as you know, that dense Tule fog in places like Concord keeps those temperatures a bit cooler. So you could be potentially stuck in the mid-50s while the rest of the Bay Area is sitting in the low 60s. So a lot nicer weather is on the way for most of us, but we are going to continue to see quite a lot of sunshine and those warmer conditions for our coastal and areas by the bay. Inland communities, again, it is the Tule fog that likely is going to be returning next week. That's going to keep those temperatures just a bit cooler. Today and tomorrow, though, get out, enjoy yourself. There's going to be plenty of sunshine, a few passing cumulus clouds, but nothing that's going to stop you from enjoying your weekend. Early this morning, I hope you also enjoyed the beautiful sunrise. I just can't get over the colors in the sky behind me right now. It is just spectacular. And like I said, the sun is only going to rise earlier and earlier from here. Today, tomorrow, for areas by the bay and near the coast, again, a little bit of cloud coverage, but by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday, those temperatures are going to be staying in the mid to lower 60s. And San Jose, down in the Santa Clara Valley, low 70s are likely by mid next week. So keep that in mind. Get ready for warmer weather. And unfortunately, put that umbrella away. You're not going to need it anytime soon. Back to you.
Finally this morning, one of the rarest comic books in the world just shattered records.
And the story comes with an interesting twist involving the actor Nicolas Cage.
Everything with Nick Cage certainly does.
A copy of Action Comics #1, the 1938 issue that introduced Superman to the world, just sold in a private deal for $15 million. That's the largest amount anyone has ever paid for a comic, and it originally cost just 10 cents.
This very copy right here once was stolen from Nick Cage's home, then recovered in a storage locker 11 years later. Experts say that backstory helped turn it into a pop culture icon, comparing its rise in fame to the Mona Lisa, which was stolen from the Louvre back in 1911. Only about 100 copies of this iconic comic still exist today. I gotta say, the comparison to the Louvre versus Nicolas Cage's home, I'm sure he had an extravagant home.
Okay, also the Mona Lisa was an original. It's a one copy. They said there's about 100 copies left. That's still more than one for the Mona Lisa. It's good for them for selling.
Collector will get some amazing value out of that. And you know, it's about the love for these things.
Exactly. That's good for them. Whatever, if you have $15 million to spend, more power to you.
I wish I could do that on a comic book as well. All right, thanks for watching KPIX this morning. Don't forget, the news continues all day on CBS News Bay Area. We'll be back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Have a great Saturday.